Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. The Mark of Peace series, number 45. Me and Aggregates. Me or mine is usually considered to be the self or soul. That's what most people believe in this world. However, knowing my body and me is not an individual, a person, consciousness, life, self or soul. By observing impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self in that mind and body, because these three characteristics are ever present in the mind and body. And that knowledge or that wisdom is called Vipassana insight or Vipassana jnana. Dukkha means difficult to experience, and the rising and passing away are its permanent companions. We suffer when experiencing failures, helplessness, and loss of loved ones. That is termed as dukkha, obvious dukkha. Seeing good and bad moments change instantly and frequently without our control also cause another kind of suffering, and that is called viparinama dukkha. It always gives us another type of suffering to know and see the mind and body constantly arising and passing away. So when you see that mind and body constantly arising and passing away, it makes you suffer. That's another type. And that type of suffering is called as sankhara dukkha. And that sankhara dukkha is the one the Buddha wanted us to experience, to understand what real suffering is. The first two are fairly easy to grasp, but the third one, sankhara dukkha, is difficult to know. We believe our body, the physical body, belong to us or is an integral part of ourself. However, upon constant observation of the body, we recognize that the aggregate of matter or the body, aggregate of matter or the body consists of four elements: earth, wind, fire, and water. which means substance that you can feel hard and soft, motion and vibration, hot and cold temperature, and cohesion and dispersion. But people quite casually call it earth, wind, fire, and water. That is our physical body. Another one is Vedana, feeling, translated as feeling. Feelings are a quality of mind, not me. We thought feelings are my feelings. It's not. It's a quality of mind. When the painful and pleasurable feelings arise from the physical body, they are referred to as Kayika Dukkha Vedana and Kayika Sukha Vedana. Kayika is the source where the pain comes from, is the body. Dukkha Vedana is painful or unpleasant feeling. Sukha Vedana is pleasurable feelings. So these all come from the physical source. You trip on your big toe and there's a pain. That is the painful feeling or Vedana that arises based on the physical body. And there's another source for these feelings. It is from the mental source. It is known as Cetasika Domanasa Vedana. Cetasika is mental associate. Domanasa is anger-related, unpleasant-related feeling, Vedana. And another one is Cetasika Somanasa Vedana. Again, all the mental associates that arise together with pleasant feeling. In other words, they are the one who created these pleasant feelings. In other words, it is the mental suffering or mental bliss. It is all from the mind, not from the body. You might think about an accident about a week ago. Of course, the pain comes from the body, the knees, or the back. But now, a week later, when you're thinking about it, it is mental source. It's a recall memory. Recall memory. That's why it is called the source comes from the mind or mental. Suffering and bliss from the mind source. And there is also another experience or Vedana or feeling. Vedana, feeling, experience. They are one and the same. Experience that lies between the pleasant and unpleasant feeling is called Mijjata Vedana. Mijjata is in the middle, Vedana feeling. The feeling in the middle of what? The middle between pleasant and unpleasant. That's also known as Upekkha Vedana. Upekkha, which means it is of no interest to the feeling. As there is no interest to the feeling, That means no feeling. Upekha Vedana. Another one is called aggregate of perception. In Pali it's called Sanya Khanda, aggregate of perception. It is a collection of perceptions of the experience. When you experience something, when you feel something, there's a perception arises. A slap on the shoulder, a person might thought, oh, it's a good feeling. Another person might feel that, oh, it hurts. It's the same slap, but two different perceptions by two different people. Because there are many conditions that are not in common. So a collection of perception of experience is called aggregate of perception. And this perception may be right or wrong according to the true nature. Sometimes the perception is right on to the reality of mind and matter. Another time that perception is totally off from that reality and it is in some sort of a zone, a space that is far away from reality. So it is the perception that perceives, notes, and remember. I'll repeat again. It is the perception that perceives, notes, and remember, but not me or the consciousness. Me doesn't note or remember. Consciousness doesn't note or remember. It is the perception that notes or remember. We think, oh, I remember. Oh, it's me. That is how we mostly perceive things and believe. But if you know reality, you know that it is the perception that notes, perception that remembers. And the next one is aggregates of mental formation in English. In Pali it's called Sankharat Khanda. Sankharat Khanda. It is the 49 mental associates led by volition. Give a little explanation there. There are altogether 52 mental associates. The Buddha enumerated for us. Out of the 52, feeling and perception are dealt separately, which we already have taught just a few minutes ago. And the third one is vijnana, or consciousness. In this case, it's simply a quality to know the existence of an object. So, if you take the 3 out of the 52, only 49 left. Those 49 plays a role, but it is always led by volition, cetana. It is the volition that creates or that makes good karma and bad karma, good karma and evil karma. It is that volition, will, or intention, volition. That is the one that is making your karma. making good and evil karma. It is not you who made it, it is not me who made it, but we think we are the one who is making the karma. In reality, it is the volition that is making the karma. And we already talked about vijnana, citta or consciousness, simply a mental quality that enables one to recognize the existence of an object. So that consciousness is the one that recognized. It can do nothing else except that cognizing there's an object. That's it. So it is not me who recognized the object, who cognized the object. It is the citta, a mental quality that cognizes or recognizes the object. So these are me and aggregates. We always think as me, 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 but these are the aggregates. Another word called atta. Atta perceives itself as me. Atta perceives itself. Atta perceives atta as me. In other words, me and atta are the same. Me is atta, atta is me. Of course, to expand it a little more than me, as me or an individual, a being, or an entity, that's what atta perceives itself. I am an entity, I am a being, I am an individual, I am a person, I am me. These are all mine. That's atta. But me is a composite of a physical process and full mental process. We have just talked about last 10-15 minutes about the physical process, main physical aggregate. Full mental process mean full mental qualities, feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness. Those combined actually is the what we call as me in reality. To understand the concept experientially, one must practice the full foundation of mindfulness with commitment. We talk, we understand theoretically, but to truly understand, one must practice mindfulness inside meditation. Then the direct experience will unfold you the true reality of mind and body, or what we call me and you. May all of you be able to practice Satipatthana Vipassana with commitment, continuously, constantly, unbroken, and understand the true nature of me as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.